Hey guys, it's Lumen. Welcome to the second episode of Pad for Dummies, a video series aimed at definitively covering all the information that a new player needs but does not receive in the tutorial. In this episode, I will be covering the uses of the most valuable resource in the game, Magic Stones. Magic Stones are the premium resource of the game. Though the tutorial does say that Magic Stones have a variety of uses, it doesn't elaborate beyond rolling in the rare egg machine. As of June 2021, there are 5 distinct uses of Magic Stones. Number 1. Reviving yourself in a dungeon run after you've died. Number 2. Refilling your stamina bar by your current maximum stamina. Number 3. Increasing the number of friend slots. 1 stone equals 5 slots. Number 4. Increasing box space. Again, 1 stone equals 5 slots. Number 5. Rolling machines. Now, just because there are 5 potential uses for magic stones doesn't mean all of them are worthwhile. Here are a couple guidelines for stone usage that are specifically curated for new players. Of course, you don't have to follow these suggestions, but following these guidelines should make sure that you don't waste any stones. Number 1. Do not stone for continues. This should be a rule of thumb for as long as you play Puzzle and Dragons. It would be far better to simply stone for stamina instead, as that should garner more attempts at a dungeon than continuing. If clearing the dungeon seems like an impossible prospect without reviving, then it would be much better to stop and work on improving your box or personal puzzling skill instead. Number 2. Do not stone for stamina. There is no reason for new players to stone for stamina when the daily advertising stamina refills and periodic rank up should be more than enough. However, unlike the previous guideline, this idea may change much farther down the line when you are no longer a new player. Number 3. Don't spend stones on friend slots. It's not necessarily a bad thing to expand your maximum number of friends, but the opportunity cost of adding friend slots as a new player is too high. Just work with the friend slots you have for now and worry about expanding later. Number 4. Only buy box space when you absolutely need it. As you roll for more monsters, you will inevitably need more box space to hold all your cards, so when the need arises, expand your box. First, you should watch the daily advertisement to expand box space before thinking about spending stones to do so. I want to emphasize that stones should only be spent on box space after checking if you can open up more box space by selling unnecessary cards. My general rule of thumb with selling is that if you can easily reobtain it, it's okay to sell. So make sure you've adhered to this rule and sold everything that was reasonably reobtainable before making the call to spend valuable stones on box expansion. Number 5. Use your stones to roll machines. Though proper team building is important to maximize the value of your cards, a stronger team will inevitably require better cards to work with. Thus, rolling machines to improve your box should be the primary use of your precious stones. Now you know to spend stones primarily on egg machines, but then you run into another problem. There's so many different machines. What do all the different kinds of machines offer, and what specific machine am I supposed to roll? For simplicity's sake, I've grouped the machines into 3 broad categories. I do want to point out that these categories are subject to change in the future, but these groups are what we're going with as of June 2021. Rare Egg Machine, commonly abbreviated to REM. This machine costs 5 stones to roll. Super Godfest, commonly abbreviated to SGF, Super Godfest usually costs 10 stones to roll. They come and go every 2 weeks. Usually, we get one in the middle of the month, and then another one at the end of the month. Sometimes, Super Godfest have lineup variations that include cards from other in-house event machines and/or seasonals. Collabs and in-house event machines. These are basically all the other machines that aren't Super Godfest or the Rare Egg Machine. Some players may categorize even further by separating seasonals from the rest, but to make it easier, I'm just making one big group for the remaining machines. Though there have been extremely popular events revolving around the Rare Egg Machine, I recommend that you do not roll this at all, as other machines will provide far more bang for your buck both in the long term and most definitely in the short term. Instead, I highly recommend that you start rolling in Super Godfest, as all cards from Super Godfest are greatly enhanced and will be extremely strong compared to cards from other machines as you start the game. Though the enhancement advantage will inevitably disappear as you obtain resources of your own, many cards from Super Godfest will retain good value in the long run. Furthermore, Super Godfest are home to valuable cards known as Godfest exclusives that aren't obtainable anywhere else. It is no secret that collabs and in-house event machines have rapidly gained massive popularity over the years due to their cards' respective in-game value and or the nostalgia from other franchises, making them the most anticipated machines to roll. However, newer players should not roll heavily, if at all, in these machines until their boxes, resources, and game knowledge have sufficiently accumulated to the point where the player can reasonably justify rolling in these machines for further box development. Finally, never sell anything that you rolled stones to get. Immediately favorite everything you roll so that you're unable to accidentally sell anything valuable. Now, if you have any familiarity with other gacha games, or if you read some older guides for Puzzle & Dragons, you may come across the idea of re-rolling, in which you restart the game multiple times in order to abuse the randomness of the tutorial completion reward and obtain a markedly better set of cards than if you had started normally. Re-rolling was much more prevalent in the older days of Puzzle & Dragons because the first pull you received from the rare egg machine would greatly impact your early game progression. However, re-rolling is now an antiquated concept. There is no need to re-roll. As long as you complete the tutorial and roll the first stones you obtain in the Super Godfest, you'll be just fine. Of course, there will always be some variance in your starting cards, but it won't affect your progression as it once used to. And that concludes the second episode of Pad for Dummies. If you have further questions, feel free to comment down below or to ask your questions in Discord. My server link is down in the description below. Thank you guys for watching and see you guys next episode. Good luck and have fun!